Hey, beautiful Taurus souls. I just had to share what came through for you today because this energy is absolutely incredible and I cannot stop thinking about it. I was shuffling my deck this morning and your cards literally jumped out at me with such force that I knew the universe had something urgent to tell you about partnerships and connections that are about to completely shift your reality. So I'm sitting here with my coffee, and these cards are just radiating this energy of movement and connection across distances. And honestly, Taurus, I've been reading cards for years, but this particular spread has me genuinely excited for what's coming your way. The energy feels like it's building up to something massive and beautiful, and it's happening much faster than you might expect. Let me start by telling you what I'm seeing, because the first card that came through for you is the Eight of Wands, and wow, Taurus, this is not what I was expecting to see for your usually steady and patient energy. The Eight of Wands is pure speed and communication flying across distances, and this tells me that whatever partnership or connection is meant to find you is going to happen with lightning speed. We're talking messages, calls, maybe even travel plans that happen so fast your head will spin. What's fascinating about this card showing up for you is that it's breaking your usual pattern of taking things slow and steady. The universe is basically saying, forget everything you know about your cautious approach to relationships, because this connection is going to bypass all your usual defenses and safety measures. I can see communication happening across time zones, maybe late-night conversations that feel like they're happening outside of normal time, and there's this sense of urgency that's completely unlike your typical relationship timeline. The Eight of Wands in your reading represents messages that can't wait, connections that refuse to follow conventional timing, and honestly, Taurus, this feels like someone is about to enter your life who matches your energy in ways you didn't even know were possible. But here's what's really interesting about this card appearing for you right now. It's showing me that this isn't just about romance. This is about a partnership that's going to change how you view collaboration and connection entirely. I'm seeing travel involved, possibly frequent trips, or someone who works in an industry that requires constant movement. There might be technology playing a huge role in how this connection develops and deepens. Video calls that turn into hours-long conversations, messages that arrive at the perfect moment, maybe even dating apps or social media playing a role in how you first connect with this person. What the Eight of Wands is really telling me, though, is that your patience is about to be rewarded in the most unexpected way. You've been so careful and methodical about relationships, probably burned before by rushing into things. But this connection is different because it's going to feel both incredibly fast and incredibly stable at the same time. It's like the universe found someone whose energy can keep up with this accelerated timeline while still honoring your need for security and consistency. The second card that's absolutely glowing with energy for you is the Knight of Cups and Taurus. This is where things get really beautiful, because this card represents someone who's going to approach you with genuine romantic intention and emotional maturity. But what's surprising me is that this isn't your typical Knight of Cups energy. This person has a dreamy, romantic nature, but they're also incredibly practical about making the relationship work across distance. This Knight of Cups is telling me about someone who's going to court you properly even from far away. We're talking surprise deliveries, thoughtful gifts that show up at your door, maybe even flowers or food sent from across the country or across the world. This person understands that long distance requires extra effort and creativity, and they're absolutely willing to put in that work to win your heart. What I'm really loving about this Knight of Cups showing up for you is that it represents someone who sees you as worth the effort and the weight and the complexity of building something real across distance. This isn't someone who's going to treat a long-distance connection as casual or temporary. They're approaching this with the full intention of building something lasting and meaningful. I keep getting this image of someone who's maybe in a creative field or who has this really artistic, poetic way of expressing their feelings. Maybe they write you long messages that read like love letters, or they send you voice notes that you replay over and over because their voice becomes this source of comfort and joy in your daily routine. There's something about the way this person communicates that's going to touch your soul in ways you didn't expect. The Knight of Cups is also showing me that this person might be going through their own period of emotional growth and healing when they meet you. They're not coming to you as someone who needs to be fixed, but rather as someone who recognizes that you're both on similar journeys of becoming more emotionally mature and ready for real partnership. It's like you're going to grow together even while you're apart physically. This card is also indicating that there might be some element of fate or destiny involved in how you meet. Maybe you'll cross paths in an online community related to your interests, or through mutual friends who live in different places, or even through work connections that span multiple locations. There's this sense that the universe has been orchestrating this meeting for longer than either of you realizes. Now, the third card that came through is absolutely fascinating because it's the Four of Pentacles. And at first I thought, wait, this doesn't make sense for a reading about opening up to long-distance love. But then the message became crystal clear. Taurus, you've been holding on to your independence and your carefully constructed life so tightly that you almost missed the signs that this connection was trying to reach you. The Four of Pentacles is telling me that part of what makes this partnership so transformative is that it's going to challenge your need to control every aspect of your relationships. You can't control the timing of when they call. You can't control their schedule in their time zone. You can't control when you'll see each other next. And initially, this is going to feel incredibly uncomfortable for your earth sign nature that craves stability and predictability. But here's what's beautiful about this card appearing in your reading. It's showing me that learning to loosen your grip on how love is supposed to look and feel is exactly what's going to allow this connection to flourish. The Four of Pentacles is asking you to trust in something that doesn't fit your usual template for relationships. And honestly, Taurus, this is going to be one of the most liberating experiences of your life. I'm seeing that you might have been someone who always preferred local connections, people you could see regularly and build routine with. But this Four of Pentacles is telling me that your next level of growth requires you to expand your definition of what a solid foundation can look like. Sometimes the strongest foundations are built on trust and emotional connection rather than physical proximity and shared daily routines. This card is also warning me that you might initially try to sabotage this connection because it feels too uncertain, too different from what you're used to. The Four of Pentacles can represent fear of change disguised as practicality. You might find yourself making excuses about why long distance never works, or focusing on all the logistics that seem impossible, but I need you to recognize these thoughts as your fear trying to keep you in your comfort zone. What's really powerful about the Four of Pentacles in this position is that it's showing me this relationship is going to teach you about abundance in ways you never expected. When you can't rely on constant physical presence, you learn to appreciate every conversation more deeply. Every visit becomes incredibly precious. Every shared moment carries more weight and meaning. It's like this connection is going to make you realize how much you've been taking for granted in your past relationships. The fourth card that's practically vibrating with energy is the Page of Swords in Taurus. This is telling me that curiosity and mental connection are going to be absolutely essential to how this partnership develops. This isn't just going to be about romantic feelings. You're going to find yourself genuinely fascinated by how this person thinks, how they solve problems, how they see the world differently than you do. The Page of Swords represents fresh perspectives and new ways of communicating, and I can see you two having conversations that last until sunrise because you're just so interested in each other's minds. This person is going to challenge your assumptions about things in the most delightful way possible. Maybe they have a completely different cultural background, or they work in a field that's foreign to you, or they have life experiences that open up new ways of thinking about everything. What I love about this Page of Swords appearing for you is that it's telling me this partnership is going to make you feel mentally alive in ways you might have forgotten were possible. Sometimes us earth signs can get stuck in our routines and our established ways of seeing things, But this connection is going to introduce an element of intellectual adventure that's going to be absolutely addictive. This card is also showing me that there might be some playful teasing and witty banter between you two that becomes like your own private language. The Page of Swords loves clever conversation and mental sparring that's more about connection than competition. I can see you two developing inside jokes and references that nobody else understands, creating this intimate world of shared humor and intellectual intimacy. The Page of Swords is also indicating that this person might be younger than you in some way, either literally in age or just younger in their approach to life. They might have this refreshing enthusiasm for new experiences and adventures that helps you see your own life through fresher eyes. Or maybe they're new to your industry or your area of expertise, and you become someone who guides them while they inspire you with their fresh perspective. This card is telling me that communication technology is going to become incredibly important in how your relationship develops. Maybe you become those people who are constantly sharing articles and videos with each other, or you start watching movies together over video chat, or you find creative ways to experience things together, even when you're apart. The Page of Swords is all about finding new ways to connect and communicate. The fifth card that's absolutely glowing is the Six of Cups. And wow, Taurus, this is where the reading gets really emotional, because this card is telling me that this partnership has elements of recognition and familiarity that are going to feel almost magical. There's going to be something about this person that feels like coming home, even though they're geographically far away from you. The Six of Cups often represents past life connections or soul recognition, and I'm getting the strongest sense that when you first start talking to this person, you're going to have this strange feeling like you've known them forever. Conversations are going to flow with an ease that surprises you, and you might find yourself sharing personal stories and memories that you don't usually reveal to new people in your life. What's beautiful about this Six of Cups energy is that it's showing me this connection is going to heal something in your heart that you might not have even realized needed healing. Maybe past relationships left you feeling like true understanding was impossible, or like you always had to perform a certain version of yourself to be loved. But this person is going to see and appreciate parts of you that feel authentic and effortless to share. This card is also telling me there might be some element of childhood joy and playfulness that this person brings out in you. Maybe they inspire you to try things you loved when you were younger, or they have this way of making even mundane conversations feel fun and engaging. The Six of Cups represents emotional safety that allows your inner child to come out and play. I'm also seeing that this connection might involve sharing memories and stories about your past in ways that create deeper intimacy. Maybe you bond over similar childhood experiences, or you find yourselves staying up late sharing stories about your families, your dreams, your fears, your hopes. There's going to be this beautiful vulnerability that develops naturally between you. The Six of Cups is also showing me that this relationship might have elements of nostalgia or vintage charm. Maybe you both love old movies, or you bond over music from past decades, or there's something about the way you connect that feels timeless and classic, even though it's happening through modern technology. Now, here's where things get really interesting because the sixth card is the Three of Wands and Taurus. This is confirmation that what you're building with this person is absolutely going to expand beyond just the two of you. This partnership is going to open doors and create opportunities that affect multiple areas of your life in the most positive ways. The Three of Wands is showing me that this connection might lead to business opportunities, creative collaborations, or maybe even opportunities to travel and experience new places together. This isn't just going to be a romantic relationship that exists in its own bubble. This is going to be a partnership that enhances and expands your entire life experience. I can see this person introducing you to their network of friends and colleagues in ways that benefit your career or your personal interests. Maybe they live in a city you've always wanted to visit, or they work in an industry that fascinates you, or they have connections that lead to opportunities you never would have discovered on your own. The Three of Wands is also telling me that the long-distance aspect of this relationship is actually going to become one of its greatest strengths rather than its biggest challenge. Because you're both maintaining your individual lives and communities while building something together, you're going to bring so much richness and diversity to the partnership. You're not going to lose yourselves in the relationship because you're both continuing to grow and expand in your separate locations. This card is showing me that patience and planning are going to be essential skills for making this partnership work. And honestly, Taurus, these are two of your greatest strengths as an earth sign. The Three of Wands requires the ability to work toward long-term goals and maintain vision even when progress feels slow, and you're absolutely built for this kind of commitment. I'm also getting that there might be some element of international connection or cultural exchange involved. Maybe this person lives in a different country, or they have multicultural background, or building this relationship is going to involve learning about different ways of life and different perspectives on relationships and partnership. The final card that's practically radiating energy is the Ace of Cups and Taurus. I literally got chills when this card appeared, because this is telling me that what's coming for you isn't just any partnership. This is the beginning of a completely new chapter in your capacity for love and emotional connection. The Ace of Cups represents pure emotional potential and new beginnings in love. This card is confirming that this long-distance partnership is going to awaken parts of your heart that have been dormant or protected for longer than you realize. Maybe you've been going through the motions in past relationships, or maybe you've been so focused on practical compatibility that you forgot what it feels like to have your heart completely opened by someone's presence in your life. The Ace of Cups is telling me that this connection is going to feel like a spiritual awakening as much as a romantic one. This person is going to inspire you to be more generous with your love, more open with your emotions, more willing to take risks for the sake of deep connection. And because it's happening across distance, every expression of love is going to be more intentional and more meaningful. What I absolutely love about this Ace of Cups appearing for you is that it represents love that overflows into every area of your life. When your heart is this full and this inspired, you become more creative, more generous, more optimistic about everything. This partnership isn't going to drain your energy the way some relationships do. It's going to fill your cup so completely that you have more love to give to your friends, your family, your work, your community. This card is also showing me that there's going to be an element of divine timing involved in how this all unfolds. The Ace of Cups often appears when we're finally ready to receive the love we've been asking for, even if it arrives in a package we weren't expecting. You might have been praying for partnership while assuming it would look a certain way, and the universe is about to show you that love is so much more creative and abundant than your mind could have imagined. The Ace of Cups is telling me that this relationship is going to inspire you to express your love in new ways. Maybe you become someone who writes love letters, or you discover you have a talent for choosing perfect gifts, or you find yourself taking photos of beautiful moments because you want to share them with this person. Love is going to make you more creative and more generous with your emotional expression. So Taurus, let me bring all of this together for you, because the message from your cards is absolutely beautiful, and I need you to understand how significant this is. You're about to experience a partnership that combines the speed and excitement of the Eight of Wands with the emotional depth and romantic intention of the Knight of Cups. The Four of Pentacles is asking you to loosen your grip on how you think love should look, while the Page of Swords promises mental stimulation and fresh perspectives that keep you endlessly fascinated. The Six of Cups is telling you this connection has elements of soul recognition and emotional healing, while the Three of Wands confirms this partnership will expand your entire life in wonderful ways. And that final Ace of Cups is pure confirmation that this is the beginning of a completely new chapter in your capacity for love. The timing is accelerating, Taurus, and I need you to pay attention to the signs. Someone is about to reach across distance to connect with you in ways that bypass all your usual relationship timelines and defenses. This could be someone from your past reaching out, or a completely new connection that develops through online communities, work connections, or mutual friends who live far away. What makes this reading so powerful is that every card is telling me this isn't going to be some casual, long-distance flirtation that fizzles out. This is someone who's going to pursue you with genuine intention. Someone who sees the distance as a challenge worth accepting rather than an obstacle that makes you less appealing. They're going to show up consistently, communicate beautifully, and make you feel chosen and cherished even when you can't be physically together. I keep getting the message that your logical mind might try to talk you out of this connection initially. You might focus on all the practical challenges, all the ways long-distance relationships can fail, all the reasons why it makes more sense to wait for someone local. But your cards are absolutely screaming that this is your person, and the distance is temporary and manageable in ways that are going to surprise you. The universe is asking you to trust in something that doesn't fit your usual template for how love should develop. Instead of weekly dinner dates and gradual relationship progression, you might find yourself in 6-hour phone conversations that create more intimacy than months of conventional dating. Instead of casual weekend activities, you might find yourself planning elaborate visits that become these incredibly romantic and memorable experiences. What your cards want you to understand is that this partnership is going to teach you that love isn't limited by geography when two people are truly committed to building something real together. All the things you value most in relationships, trust, consistency, emotional safety, deep conversation, shared values and goals, all of these things can be built across distance when both people are willing to be creative and intentional about connection. The energy around this is telling me that movement and change are happening faster than you expect. If you've been single for a while, or if you've been feeling disconnected from romantic possibility, that's all about to shift dramatically. Someone is looking for exactly what you offer. Someone who appreciates your steadiness and your depth and your capacity for loyalty and commitment. Are any of you feeling this energy building? Have you been getting unusual messages or friend requests lately? Have you been drawn to online communities or social media in ways that aren't typical for you? The Eight of Wands energy suggests this connection might develop through digital means first, so pay attention to anyone who's been trying to get your attention through technology. Your cards are telling me to remind you that your worth isn't determined by your geographic location or by someone's willingness to make local dating convenient. You deserve someone who sees you as worth the effort, worth the creativity, worth the patience that long distance requires in the beginning. And apparently, the universe has found someone who absolutely sees you that way. The message is clear, Taurus. Open your heart to possibilities that don't fit your usual expectations. Say yes to conversations with people who live far away. Be willing to invest emotional energy in connections that can't immediately become physically convenient. Your perfect partnership might be developing right now through late-night messages and video calls and the kind of deep conversations that create unshakable emotional bonds. This is happening, and it's happening fast, and it's going to change your life in the most beautiful ways. Trust the process, trust your intuition, and get ready for love that exceeds every expectation you had about what was possible for your romantic life.